everybody, welcome back to the Blockbusters Show. I'm Adam Sykes, and today we're looking at a knockoff movie, A Fairy Tale Christmas, or as it was also sold as, Braver. And it was supposed to be a knockoff of the Disney Pixar classic Brave, for anyone that remembers that movie. Now, when I first heard about this movie, somebody told me about how it was a knockoff of Brave because it was sold as Braver, and the cover is even designed to look exactly like Disney Pixar's Brave. But you look at the movie was made in like 2005, and it was some Canadian flash animated movie. I don't know if it was on TV or if it was just straight to video, garbage or whatever, but it has nothing to do with Brave. If anything, they could have waited a year later and repackaged this movie as a Frozen knockoff because the main character is blonde and royal, and it takes place in a winter setting with a lot of snow. It's not even like other companies do, like The Asylum or Video Brinquedo, where they'll take something that's obviously popular or something they think is going to be a big movie that's going to make a lot of money, and then they try to like base their movie off of like the trailer. Like Sunday School Musical, that's just High School Musical, specifically the third one I think is what they were trying to knock off with the poster. But it's High School Musical. A little panda fighter, they heard the plot synopsis or they saw the trailer to Kung Fu Panda, which was coming out at the time, and they were like, oh, well, we can do our own version of that, except it's 40-minute trash with terrible CG animation. This is like a whole other level of lazy ripping movies off. This is just taking something, getting the rights to some other obscure thing that people don't remember, and then just repackaging it with a fake cover that resembles nothing of the actual movie itself. All that out of the way, yeah, this movie is not an actual knockoff movie like those other ones. This is just some generic Christmas family flash animated movie from Canada that was made in 2005. The actual plot itself, the movie takes place in a kingdom that seems to consist of a castle on hillside, and then deeper into woods there's a small village of people that consists of like 2 people and 1 small family. It's more of a micronation than it is an actual kingdom. And the king has a daughter, she's the princess obviously, and they love each other. Apparently the mother is dead, because apparently this movie's trying to emulate Disney style cliches, so they gotta do the single parent because that makes them relatable, I guess. Unlike Frozen, in which they did something kind of different and they had both the parents die off in a shipwreck.
It belonged to your mother.
Oh, I miss her.
The king has this evil advisor who wants to tax everything in the land, and he wants to become super rich. So his evil plan is to get rid of the princess. And at first I was like, so his plan is that he gets rid of the princess, he's next in line for the throne? But no, his plan is a lot dumber than that. He goes to this lady who I guess is his evil merchandise hookup, and she hooks him up with some potion or mist or whatever that erases memory. So they use that on the girl, and the evil advisor tells his brother, hey, take her out to the woods and raise her in some shotgun shack in the middle of the woods, and then I will somehow get in power. And surprisingly enough, this incredibly terrible plan actually works. Because then what happens is, after all that time goes by, the king apparently hung up the crown, and he's now riding on horseback all over the kingdom to try and find her. And in his place, the evil advisor dude is now the king, and he's taxed everybody, so now that he's rich, and it seems that everyone is even more of a peasant than they were before. Maybe it's just me, but in reality, I think this plan would have failed because the king would have gotten on horseback, gotten all of his best men and knights or whatever, and said, look all over the kingdom, and then sooner or later they'd probably come across the shotgun shack in the woods. It probably wouldn't have taken to the point where the princess is now a young adult. And like a lot of these fairy tale movies, you gotta have cute talking animal sidekicks, and in this case you have a bird and you have a reindeer that sounds like a Sonic character. I love it. There's a throwaway line about how apparently there's a very specific tradition that only princesses can talk to animals.
She has a true heart.
That's not possible. It's only happened once before. A girl with a true heart who could hear us talk. But she was a princess.
How is it that this straight-to-video 44-minute movie does a better job establishing the whole main character can talk to animals thing better than The Zookeeper? Which, the whole plot of the movie was that he could talk to animals, and that was just in a crappy throwaway line. And admittedly, this was in a crappy throwaway line too, and yet it somehow worked better in the movie's favor. And halfway through the movie, the animals start talking to this girl, and they're all of a sudden just helping her out on her adventure. And so to highlight the fact that the princess is good of heart, they establish very early on, and then in a song sequence in the middle of the movie, that she's so kind she willingly gives away presents to commoners who have no money and can't pay for it. That's another thing. This movie is a musical, and it's a lot like Rhapsody Street Kids in that the music isn't horribly produced, but none of these songs are really anything special.
There's no one more qualified than me to be king.
I'm just like every other girl. They can't take Christmas, they can't take Christmas away. The bells will chime, we all will sing. The gift of love is what we bring.
I mean, we could say that Let It Go was annoying with the amount of overplay it had on the radio charts, and it was. It was definitely annoying to keep hearing that song, but the song itself is good. But this, it's like, no one's going to be remembering these songs. Eventually she comes across the king who's trying to look for his daughter, and he doesn't seem to recognize the fact that this girl that he's talking to is his daughter. I don't know how he doesn't remember. Like, she doesn't remember because she inhaled the elixir or the potion or the mist or whatever that erased her memories. How is it he doesn't know this is obviously the same girl? She looks exactly the same. She has the same color scheme in her outfit, even all these years later. How does he not know? He has a song about how he's been out on the road trying to find his daughter all this time.
I won't rest, my princess I will find.
Even though, again, it seems like he could have easily just rounded up all of his knights and all of his countrymen to search across the land, and they probably could have done it in like an afternoon. But soon she realizes that she's the princess that he's looking for because she has a bracelet on her arm, and they established at the beginning that he gave her a bracelet. Evil advisor dude has her locked in her room in the cabin while he talks to his kindly brother, and then her animal friends help break her out by breaking a window down, and they flee into the night. The princess and the talking bird work their way into the castle. The evil advisor dude meets his evil hookup lady again, and she shows some girl who I guess is related to her. This girl that they're going to pose as the princess so that she can take over. Bird gets the necklace back from the evil dude, and then there's a chase scene. They eventually get their way back to the king, and the actual princess proves that she's the real princess because she sings along to a music box that they sang to at the beginning of the movie. So the evil advisor dude is put away into the dungeon. The kindly brother is forgiven because all throughout the movie they showed signs that he was regretful of them doing all this evil stuff. How is it that out of everybody in this movie, that guy had the most character development? It wasn't much, but he had the most character development out of everybody. And so the movie ends with a happily ever after. Everything goes back to normal. The animal friends, I guess, now live in the castle with them.
And Princess Angela lived happily ever after. At least until, well, never mind. That's another story.
Okay, I guess we don't want to know, so okay, thank you for that. All in all, out of all the Christmas movies we've done for Blockbusters this month, I think this is one of the better ones because, I mean, it's bad, but it was 44 minutes, it was quick, and it wasn't hideous to look at or laughably incompetent like something like Christmas Tree or Rhapsody Street Kids, and it also wasn't frustratingly bad and unfunny like Jingle All the Way 2 and Christmas Vacation 2. This is just some generic family movie that, I don't know, for all I know, maybe they did have an idea and some heart going into this and they didn't just try to make this some cynical cash grab. Unlike the company that resold it as Braver, that was obviously a cynical cash grab. But the people that made this, I don't know, it seems like maybe they tried. It seems like they probably put some work into it. And it was probably just a small ragtag team of, I don't know, 15 people or so. And in terms of the animation, it's obviously just very cheap Flash, but it's not laughably incompetent or even creepy like Christmas Tree or Rhapsody Street Kids. And it's also not piss poor like something like Christmas Light and Christmas Brigade. But at the same time, it's just like whenever they tried to do like very intricate angles or very specific animations like running or a certain way a character would be moving, it obviously looks very, very cheap. Also, some of the dialogue, when they tried to have funny dialogue with the animals, that was just laughably bad because, like I said, they tried making the reindeer like a Sonic character where he's got radical quips and...
Oh, we have to get you out of there.
Tell me something I don't know.
You can talk too?
What, you think only birds can talk?
If it makes any sense at all, compared to Christmas Tree and Rhapsody Street Kids, this movie is competent in its incompetence. It's bland, it's harmless, it's inoffensive. There's nothing about this movie that's really like so bad it's funny, or really anything about it that's just so bland that I wanted to turn it off and stop watching. Like, some of the bad family movies we've done were just so paint by numbers and cookie cutter. Movies like Gulliver's Travels and Marmaduke, I was like, you know, these are big budget, but there's something about them I just don't want to keep watching. At the same time, there is something about it that I'm like, you know, this probably could have been better if they put more work into it. Like, you look at YouTube animations like, I don't know, Hellbenders or Has Been Hotel. You look at stuff like that, and there was lots of work and lots of time that was put into that. And that was debatably probably even a smaller team compared to this. There's nothing about it that screams it's so bad it's good. There's nothing about it that makes it so infamously bad. It's just some generic, straight-to-video Christmas movie that's fine for kids, and then they're probably going to grow up and be like, that was the thing I watched. So that does it for the Blockbuster Show this year. We have plenty of more videos coming up next year, more bad movies to talk about. We're going to try and do some more stuff so that it's not just condensed down to movie reviews. We're going to try and do more sketch videos. We're going to try and do some commentary stuff. Going to try and do a bunch of different stuff so that we can bring some variety to the Blockbuster Show. So look forward to all of that next year. Until then, I'm Adam Sykes of the Blockbuster Show, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Why does every castle have a secret entrance?
I'm not sure.